Ladies and gentlemen, yes, this is your favorite show, Sports Unfolded, with your favorite hosts, Eric and Ron.
Hey, welcome to the best sports podcast on the planet. I am your host, Eric, my main man right over there. Ron, how are you tonight?
Doing quite well. How are you?
I am excited. I'm pumped up for tonight's show.
Yeah, that's why I already got the Christmas
How many
cards
Christmas
lost
cards you got
tally
lost?
right there, ready to go.
I love it. I love it. And I love it. I cannot wait to talk some sports with you tonight. If you are joining us live, please join in through chat. Let us know about anything you'd want to talk about tonight, and we will definitely try to do our best. Other than politics and religion, anything's on the table. Buy me a coffee if you got some time to help donate and sponsor to the show. Bits, stars tonight. We love getting those too. So, do it up. Let's have some fun tonight. And start off with our leadoff story, Ron, and that's one Mr. Juan Soto. He has been traded to the New York Yankees. Does this move make the Yankees a contender?
Well, in theory, yes. I mean, they should have been a contender last year, right?
Could have been a contender.
Yeah, but somebody forgot to tell some of those big market teams that, hey, you actually do need pitching.
Yeah, so I love the move. Obviously, as a Yankee fan, you look at that lineup, and if Judge stays healthy and Soto and Stanton, right, Rizzo, you start to look at it and you go, wow, what a lineup this could be.
They're going to break the record in home runs this year.
My fear would be, again, to your point, the pitching, right? You get Garrett Cole, who's a Cy Young winner. He's the ace, the stable one. Randon has not been able to stay healthy, who they expected to be the number 2. A lot of speculation that Japanese pitcher Yamamoto is one of the front runners that they're going after next. Best pitcher in Japanese baseball right now. But again, hasn't pitched in the major leagues. You don't know what you're getting.
Right. There's a lot of teams that are going to be in on him. I don't know. I mean, I know they have enough money that they can do it. But do they want to keep spending like this? I mean, you're talking.
They're all in this year. I think they said it. They're I guess the Dodgers of the American League this year. They're going to spend money, right? Soto's contract. Here's another question. Again, free agent after this year, so you got to keep him happy, because if you make this move and then he walks after this season, what does that really do for you as well?
Well, you didn't really give up anything.
It's not even a point. I mean, if you're going to start to build a team around him and Judge, and then he decides after a year he's going to walk away because
he might try to get even more money. I mean, what's his contract worth right now?
It's not that much. He gave up a big deal because he wanted to become a free agent. So he's going to get paid. I mean, more than probably Ohtani will once he hits the free agent market.
Yeah, but didn't he just sign with San Diego that big, massive contract?
He had a deal, but it ends. It's not. I think it was like $25 million a year.
That's all.
I don't think it was very much.
Yeah,
in Major League Baseball, that's not a lot. Not when you're looking at the Ohtani $500 to $600 million contract. That's probably going to get offered.
Yeah. I mean, it's nice because. They got Soto, okay? And they also, I don't know how the hell they just...
Verdugo?
I don't know how that happened.
He didn't want to stay in Boston. I think that was what ultimately ended up happening.
Yeah, because he was arguing with Alex Cora, that awesome manager that he is. I don't blame him. I don't blame Verdugo at all. I mean, it's... Somebody forgot to tell Craig Breslow, the new GM of Boston, that we should not really help the Yankees beat us.
Yeah, no, listen, I think they said it's happened maybe 8 times in the history of the two franchises.
Yeah. I know that big one once a
Yeah, that
little
took a while.
ways back.
Yeah, I mean, it started with that Babe Ruth thing. So, oh, Kenny joined us live. Hey, Kenny, thank you for joining. Yeah, right. So you don't see a lot of this when it comes to Boston, New York. That was an interesting thing. I think the issue becomes now they want to be relevant again. The Yankees, they want to make the playoffs. Right. It's been a couple years now. They're going to spend money. My question would have been, I probably would have rather seen them go Otani and get the second pitcher than get Soto and now still have to get a pitcher.
Yeah, look, I mean, your worries are just the same as mine is with the Red Sox. I mean, are we going to have to go into this season, with the same arms we have, from last year, and actually losing all the good ones that you have? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't see an improvement in the Yankees pitching staff. I don't see the improvement, in
If
the Red Sox either.
if they can pull off the Yamamoto deal, Rendon comes back and pitches like he did 2 years ago, and now you got Cole. I mean, then you got something there. The question still would be though, if you think about Soto, batted 275 last year, 156 hits, 35 home runs, 109 RBIs. You look at the numbers, you're like, wow, that's pretty good. Look at the talent they had in San Diego. He couldn't win there either.
No.
So bringing him over to New York doesn't guarantee that you win. When if you look at what they had in San Diego, I think the talent was probably better, and yet they couldn't make the playoffs.
Yeah, and that's what I'm about to say, Eric. It's like, yeah, you look at that lineup and it's massive, right? Well, look at what LA did. Look what San Diego did. And it did absolutely nothing for them.
It didn't get you a trophy. Yeah, there was no trophy.
So, I mean, spend all you want, but if you don't have any pitching at all, I mean, you can't go into the season with just
And I will say that
one guy.
Yeah, and I will say this. Listen, Aaron Boone's job is definitely he's on a hot seat without a doubt, because at this point they're going to say, look at the amount of talent we're
I can't believe
acquiring.
The Yankees and Boston stood pat with their manager.
Yeah, agreed. Well, Juan Soto, now a Yankee, was our leadoff story. Anybody out there live, what are your thoughts on Juan Soto to the Yankees? Good move for the Yankees or not? To the evil empire. Love it. They're back, baby. George coming down and saying, look, we need to do something here. Can't stay unpacked anymore.
Wait, is that George Steinbrenner or George Costanza?
Not Costanza. I'm Costanza, okay? That's me and only me. All right, my friend. But very good start to our show. I love talking Yankees.
No, not really. I mean,
I know how much you love talking Yankees.
It's just awful. I'm just like, again, I can't stand those stankies.
I can't wait to
talk about this guy.
So let's talk some NFL, my friend. The New England Patriots beat the Pittsburgh Steelers last night, 21-18. Was this a good win or a bad win for the team?
This is terrible. This is terrible. You literally have nothing on this team to offer on offense, right? But yet you go out there and you push so hard that you beat up on the struggling Pittsburgh Steelers, with all their health, problems in their quarterback position. So you beat Trubisky. Oh, goody. Now you just made it impossible to get that number 1 pick. Thank you.
See, I disagree with you. This was a great win for the Patriots.
No, this is horrible.
They didn't drop a spot. They're still second overall in the NFL for the number 2 pick in the draft. Didn't lose any ground. Secondly,
no, we did, because watch what happens now when we play the Jets, and the Jets are going to lose to the Patriots, and they're going to get the higher pick. And so yes, it is a bad win.
Jets got like 5 wins. No, we're fine.
This was a good win ahead of them.
Okay, this was a good win for 2 reasons, Ron. second draft pick overall. I don't expect the Patriots to win another game anyway.
They're
Do you
going to beat
realize
the Jets.
they got 20 yards of offense in the second half? They didn't do anything. They got lucky in the first half, and Pittsburgh's
I
Trubisky was just
understand
horrible.
it. But it's a horrible win because now
is.
you go in to later on in the season and you play the Jets, right? The Patriots are probably going to win that game because they always do pull one out of their butt with the Jets anyway. You know, whether it's a butt fumble or an interception by Wilson, it doesn't matter. It's going to happen. That's the way it is. So then we're going to fall behind the Jets
No.
for that elusive pick, and they're going to pick the guy that we want.
All right. So the real reason why this was a good win, Ron, I'm tired of the people criticizing Bill Belichick. We need to move on from him. We need to change everything. He coached a team up.
Yet again, him sticking it to the team.
He coached it up again. He did something that nobody else would be able to do and get a victory with a team that didn't deserve to win.
Yeah.
And everybody wants to move on from it when you know if you get a legitimate quarterback that doesn't create turnovers, he can have a defense that can win games because, again, they held a team to 18 points, and they have the ability to win games if they're not turning over the ball.
Right. So we have a coach that has a crappy GM getting him all bad players. Oh, wait,
I'm not
that's
disagreeing.
the same guy.
But I'm not disagreeing. There has to be some change with personnel. But from a coaching standpoint, everybody needs to get off that wagon to say Bill Belichick needs to go because there is no better option in New England than Bill Belichick, and he proved it last night. Mike Tomlin, who's been in the league since 2007 as a head coach, got outcoached.
He still can't make the personnel decisions because he's not doing the job. He is a bad GM.
Absolutely wrong.
No,
you're wrong. Christian Gonzalez, not a good pick.
Look, I never questioned his picks on defense.
Kyler Duggar, not a good pick. Offensively, yes, but defensively, he's gotten great players.
Those decisions, he can't make those decisions. He can't make them. He's not picking the right players for the draft.
Ron. So when they won their 6 Super Bowls in all those years, who was picking those players? Who got Mike Vrabel? Was that not Bill Belichick?
Yeah, he picked him off the
Okay, so don't say he can't. Corey Dillon, when we got Corey Dillon back in 2003, Corey Dillon was considered a done, a player who was done and couldn't play. Look at the 2 years in New England. Randy Moss was considered done. Do you not remember his seasons in Oakland? His seasons in Oakland were horrible. Horrible.
No, he was not considered done. He was a problem in the locker room. That's what he was.
Look at his numbers in Oakland. They were horrible.
It doesn't
Nobody
matter.
wanted to pick
He
him
wasn't
up.
considered done.
Nobody wanted to pick him up. We picked him up. Bill Belichick made that decision. I don't hear people can look at his numbers.
I don't care about the numbers. He wasn't considered done.
Okay. I'm telling you.
No. So you're going to say he has an eye for talent on offense, right? You're going to say that.
He's had opportunities where he's picked up players that were very good.
Yeah,
you tell me
off the scrap heap.
All right, give me a GM.
People didn't want him, right?
Right.
I get that.
Okay, give me a GM that's hit on every pick.
No,
it doesn't happen. It doesn't happen.
You gotta hit on one.
He's done. He was done.
He
does hit on one. Ramondre Stevenson, not a good player.
No.
Ramondre Stevenson stinks, is what you're telling me.
No, he doesn't stink, but he's not. He's not the guy. He's not.
Last year we thought he was the guy because that's the only guy they had.
No. I never said that. I never said that.
1,000 yards rushing, led the team in receptions.
Okay.
Led the team in receptions last year, but I mean he's average.
He is.
Oh my goodness.
He's an average running back. You can get. That's why there isn't a demand for the running back as much now because you can just get them. They're not effective if you don't have a line.
Barringer, the punter, look at how good he is.
Yeah.
That kid's good. He's picked up some good guys.
Come on. Come on.
I don't think you're looking at this the right way, because I'm telling you right
No.
now, not every San
No, I'm
Francisco,
not, right?
we would say
I'm
the
not.
49ers. We would say the
Look what our
49ers.
quarterbacks are. Look what our receivers are. Look
Okay.
what our line is.
The 49ers,
That's
we would
good.
say, right? The 49ers are phenomenal, right? At drafting, they've done pretty well. We can say that, correct? Yes, no, maybe. This was a yes, no answer for you.
I guess. I don't know.
49ers, pretty good. Most people say, oh, look at how great they were. Nobody's criticizing them for Trey Lance and the bust he was at the 3 pick.
Right.
At the 3 pick, and they gave up 3 years of draft picks.
Yeah.
So GMs miss.
Oh, I didn't say
It
that.
happens.
But he's missing every draft on offense. Every draft.
And again, I would say Ramondre Stevenson wasn't a miss. I would say Cole Strange a miss.
Look, Lewis was just as good, but we let him go, right? We just let him go.
Not as good as Ramondre Stevenson.
Oh, yes, he was.
Not from a runner standpoint.
And I would just say that Lewis had injury problems. Oh, but wait, isn't Stevenson hurt now? Oh, so what's the difference? We're in the same boat with running backs, right?
Who drafted Tom Brady? Belichick, but he blew it. Got the greatest quarterback in the history of the game. He doesn't know squat. He kept 4 quarterbacks that year on that squad in 2000. He kept Tom Brady on the roster as the 4th quarterback in 2000. Everybody forget that too, right? Because he saw the talent from an offensive player that was going to benefit him. The rest is history, but we're not going to talk about that either because, again, he didn't draft him. This is my point. You can't pick and choose. The man can coach. He can pick players. Some of those players just don't react either. Anyway, let's move on from the Patriots because we're not going to agree tonight on this. Ron, there's a big game this Sunday. Eagles at the Dallas Cowboys.
I was going to say Tampa Bay and Atlanta, but
you got it. You were so close. Almost made it.
It's a big game. It's for first place.
Oh, can't wait. That's going to be another division, the same as last year. A losing team's going to get in. Which team needs it more, the Eagles or the Cowboys?
Cowboys.
See, we are not going to agree on anything tonight. Go ahead. Well,
the Cowboys are behind. They have something to prove. They have to beat a team that's good.
Yeah.
So they have more that they need. They need to catch up.
The Eagles need to retain the number 1 seed in the NFC. The Eagles just got blown out by the 49ers.
Yeah.
So now a lot of people are chirping about, are they for real? They can't afford to lose back-to-back games to 2 top contending teams because that changes the whole outlook of the Philadelphia Eagles. The Eagles by far need this game way more than the Cowboys do. Nobody expects the Cowboys to go anywhere.
Dallas needs this game because they're in trouble of not even making the playoffs if they're
making the playoffs. They're making the playoffs.
You don't know that.
They're making the playoffs. They got 3 losses. They're making the playoffs.
You don't know that.
They're making the playoffs. The problem with the Dallas Cowboys are, even if they get there, we don't expect them to win. There's no pressure, whereas Philadelphia is expected to go back to the Super Bowl. These are the games now that are going to matter more to a team like that. That's why it's much more important for the Philadelphia Eagles to win this game. And the fact that they're coming off a bad loss. You don't want to go back-to-back bad losses because that could deflate a team quickly.
Yeah, we know about that with 7 of them, 8 of them, whatever it is.
Right? Bad losses. Think about it. Right now, you had, I can't believe I'm going to say this, but if you had Bailey Zappi and not Mac Jones for 5 or 6 of those games, we'd be in the playoffs right now with our record. Don't turn the ball over. It's that simple. Don't give up pick sixes. Bad football on with New England when it came to offense. But anyway, Eagles, I clearly won that. Thank you. Games of interest for week 14. You had no argument for the Cowboys. Week 14. Games of interest. What do you got? What are you watching this weekend? Two Monday night games, Ron.
That Bucks Falcon game.
I'm listening.
That's going to be the game. I'm
That's the
telling
game?
you, that's going to
Okay.
be the best game of the week.
All right. I'm going Colts Bengals. Because that's a playoff. Both of those teams are in that wild card mix.
Yeah, but there's no Joe.
The kid Browning looked phenomenal.
Ooh.
32 of 37 in that game. The kid looked great.
He did.
So again, maybe they struck lightning twice.
Maybe.
So again, if that kid,
I mean, that's if one team did it.
What else you got, Ron? I can't tonight with you already. 20 minutes in, I'm done. Go ahead. What else you got?
I got that Jacksonville-Cleveland game. Jacksonville looks very vulnerable right now.
Right? No Trevor Lawrence.
Lose and, Houston wins.
Yeah.
We
division
might be talking about something else in that division.
Yep. That division's getting tight. Yeah. Again, no Trevor Lawrence now for a few weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
That's
could be
a big game.
Yeah.
I like Cleveland in that one.
Joe Flacco, though. Still can't get behind the Flacco wagon. Not going to happen.
Be playing.
What about the Seahawks at the 49ers?
And I think that one too.
Right? I think this one's more important for the Seahawks because they're failing.
Yeah.
Quick. It's like it's going downhill, faster than me rolling down one of these. As much as I'm really round right now. I'm sorry. I put on some weight, Ron. I can't help it. Stress eating from Sports Unfolded. You drive me nuts. But they're just falling. I mean, Geno Smith now, you're starting to question, did they make a mistake giving him the contract? Right? They need to start to show that they're a legitimate contender still in the NFC West, or was last year a flash in the pan? I don't know, though. The 49ers, to me, are by far the best team in the NFL if everything's clicking and they're healthy.
Wait, did you? Oh, you said San Fran.
Yeah, the 49ers.
Seattle.
No, the 49ers. I don't see any team.
What?
I don't see a team that could beat them if they're playing at the top peak pinnacle of football. I just think that talented and offensively, defensively. So
they're everywhere. They're like an all-star team.
Yeah. And I know they had that 3-game stretch where they lost, but I think they figured out some things. Obviously, another one, Bills at Chiefs.
Yep.
Right? Again, some questions with this Chief offense now, and they need to see. People are starting to question, can the Chiefs be an AFC contender if that offense can't figure it? The wide receivers just aren't doing anything for them. I mean, Mr. Swift is just the only thing they have on offense.
Yeah, pretty much.
Nothing for Mr.
Pretty
Swift.
much.
Mr. Swift, nothing for that one. Come on, Ron.
I just knew who you were talking about.
We're not going to call him Travis anymore or Kelsey. It's Mr. Swift. Right? But that's all they got on offense.
Yeah, I mean, that's what they got. And I don't know. I'm actually happy that they don't look like a championship team. You
want to see that dynasty die quick.
Yeah, I don't want to see that. I don't want to see that. Let's give it to somebody else, win one, and then we'll just spread it around until.
And the Bills, right? And the Bills, Josh Allen, he's got so much to still prove. Like, he's putting up great numbers, but the mistakes he makes in some of these key games at the wrong time, it's just like, how long does Buffalo continue to go that route before they say, look, we need to move on from them?
The problem is there's not a threat to run. And all you have to do, look, to stop the Buffalo Bills, you just spied Josh Allen, right? That's all you have to do. And you double up on Diggs. That's how you stop the Buffalo Bills, because you have to worry about Diggs, and you have to worry about Josh Allen taking off and running with the ball. So you use a spy, you double up on Diggs, you stop the Buffalo Bills.
Yeah, and
Basically, that's all you need to do.
And the killer was their defense, which was one of the top defenses last year. Sean McDermott's actually coaching the defense now because Leslie Frazier moved on and retired, and the defense is worse.
Yeah.
And he's a defensive-minded coach, so that's been hurting him. I got one more game.
It's the lack of coaching staff, right?
Yeah, it hurts.
You can't do it all, and that's what we've seen in New England the past couple of years when it's too much for one guy to be overlooking everything.
Yeah.
And then some of the things start falling by the wayside because you can't focus on it anymore.
Agreed. I got one more. What else? You got? How many more do you have there, bud?
I think I just got that Rams and Baltimore Raven game because the Rams are still hanging around.
Yeah.
6-6.
Yeah. Listen,
and there's a lot of teams in the NFL that are like 6-6 or one game over, and it's
So no, that's not a bad one. I obviously the Eagles and the Cowboys.
Yeah,
that's going to be an obvious. But that Rams game could be an interesting one. All right, my friend, that's our NFL talk. Really good conversation there. But it is time for starting five.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Tonight's starting five. Larry or Lawrence. There was some like quality players out there, and I was so shocked when I first started. I was like, we had said we got a handful of guys, and then it was like, wow, there were a lot of good guys. We always start with our honorable mentions. You are first this week, my friend. Your honorable mentions.
All right, my honorable mentions are Larry Doby, major leaguer from way, way back, partially in the Negro Leagues and then MLB.
I thought he was on Harry Potter.
Yeah, sure. But he's a 9-time All-Star.
Wasn't Doby on Harry Potter? But anyway, go ahead. Okay, 9-time All-Star.
2 World Series, so he was on my honorable mention. Larry Walker
on mine.
On my honorable mention. Also, Larry Fitzgerald, former Cardinal. Larry Fitzgerald.
Mm-hmm.
Did you miss him?
He's in my starting five.
Oh, okay. And Larry Allen also is my honorable mention. And boxer Larry Holmes.
Holmes I had on as my honorable mention. All right. That all of them?
That's all of them.
I had Larry Little, offensive lineman, started 115 games, 5-time Pro Bowl, 5-time All-Pro, 2-time champ. Those Miami Dolphins undefeated seasons. One of the best offensive linemen there. Larry Nixon, 14 times he finished in first place in the bass fishing and the 2-time Bass Angler of the Year. Made my honorable mention. Even fishing, my friend, is on Sports Unfolded. 2-time Bass Angler of the Year.
Yeah, that's such a great sport.
Larry Wilson.
Oh, wait a minute. That is not a great sport. I'm sorry.
Larry Wilson. 52 interceptions, 5 of those for touchdowns, 8-time Pro Bowler, 5-time All-Pro. Larry Zonka. His rushing numbers weren't up, but again, those undefeated seasons, and he was a Super Bowl MVP. Hockey player Larry Murphy, 288 goals, 929 assists, a plus 197 for his career, 4-time Cup winner, 3-time All-Star. Did not make my list.
Yeah, good enough.
And Larry Chipper Jones did not.
No.
His name is Larry.
Oh, come
Larry Jones, known as Chipper. 303, 8-time All-Star, MVP, 2-time Silver Slugger, 1-time champ. Did not make my.
He still wouldn't make my top starting five either.
So those were my honorable mentions.
Walker is better than him.
But it is time for our starting five round at number 5.
All right, at number 5, I'm sure you don't have this one, Eric. If you have this one, I will be surprised. Lawrence Doherty, former tennis great from the 1900 to 1910.
Not with you.
Tennis great. Listen to this. He won 6 Grand Slams, 5 Wimbledon, 1 US Open, solo. Doubles, he won 10. He also won 2 Olympic golds and a 4-time Davis Cup champion. His winning percentage, 88.5%.
Not bad. Not bad. I actually saw some tape on him. A lot of tape on. That was pretty good. At number 5, that was pretty good. At 5, I had Larry Allen, 197 games started, 11-time Pro Bowl, 6-time All-Pro, 1-time champion. Larry Allen at 5. 4, Ron.
All right, number 4, I have Larry Zonka. Larry
just didn't like
Zonka,
his
it
rushing
was
yards.
tough. It was tough.
Yeah, he only had 8,000 rushing yards, and that's what kind of set me back.
Yeah, I was originally going to put him a little higher, but the era that he was in, still getting 64 touchdowns, 5-time Pro Bowl, 2 All-Pros, 2 Super Bowls, man. But what made me put him in there was that Super Bowl MVP.
Yeah.
That is not an easy thing to do back then when they actually earned it.
Yeah, the running back.
Like now, they just give it to the quarterback. So Larry Zonka, number 4.
Nice. I had him as an honorable mention, which you had Larry Fitzgerald as an honorable mention. He was my number 4. 1,432 receptions, 17,492 yards, 121 touchdowns, 11-time Pro Bowl. Still blows my mind every time we talk about him. 1 All-Pro. I just don't. I don't.
Yeah, it's like I had 2 spots to fill with 5 players that were vying for that spot, and Allen, Fitzgerald, and Walker were some of those guys that I was trying to get into that. And
yeah, no, it's. Listen, I told you, Larry was tough. It was Larry Lawrence, very tough. All right, so who do you have at 3?
Number 3, I have Montreal Canadian defenseman Larry Robinson. 208 goals, 750 assists for 958 points. This guy was a plus 722.
Insane.
So basically, Eric, his team, when they're playing 5-on-5, are going to score 722 goals before you get one.
Isn't that insane? It's insane.
That's crazy.
That was an amazing number.
That's crazy. So for a defenseman, he still had 29 game-winning goals. He won 2 Norris trophies, best defenseman in the league, 6-time All-Star, won a Conn Smythe for playoff MVP, and 6 Stanley Cups.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Believe me, I'm very aware of what he did on the ice because the Bruins failed to get to the Stanley Cup because of those great defensive moments for him.
Great player. At 3, I had, and I can't believe he's this low on my list, Lawrence Taylor. Lawrence Taylor, 142 sacks, the 10 Pro Bowls, the 8-time All-Pro, 3-time AP Defensive Player of the Year, 3-time UPI Defensive Player of the Year, and a 2-time champion. When you think linebacker, you think Lawrence Taylor first and foremost. Like, by far one of the most disruptive players ever in the history of the NFL. And Lawrence Taylor at 3 for me.
Well, that makes me wonder who you have in there. Because I could have sworn that you said that you would, like, Larry probably wouldn't even be on the list.
Bird might not be on the list.
I have Larry Bird on the list. But I'm going with...
He's 3, 2, 3. No, you're on 2.
I'm on 2. I actually put Larry Bird at number 2. It was really difficult. This was like the hardest decision probably ever for this one because I didn't know who to put there. But I went with Bird number 2. And it came down to who do I think is the best at what they do, right? Larry Bird, I have probably in the top 5 players of all time. Okay. But he doesn't have that number 1 spot. And that ultimately made me go with Larry Bird at number 2.
I also had Larry Bird at number 2. 24.3 points, a 10 rebounds
Only
rate.
imagine who you
12
have.
All-Stars, 10 All-NBAs, 3 All-Defensive, 3 MVPs, 3 champions. Larry Bird, listen, when your nickname has the name in it, Larry Legend, like Larry,
I know
he had to be somewhere towards the top because your nickname is Larry Legend.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But yeah, I went Bird at 2. So
yeah,
number
1, I went with LT because I think he's the best defensive player ever to play in the NFL. Say what you want about his lifestyle.
Yeah, listen.
But I mean, that's 8 All-Pro. 8 All-Pros. So I mean, the 142 sacks doesn't even tip the ice. It's not even.
Yeah.
I mean, he was just feared.
Devastating.
Yeah.
Devastating.
He was everywhere.
Again, one of those first guys that you had to game
2
plan
Super Bowls.
offensively, right? Offensively, they had to game plan how to stop him.
Yeah.
It wasn't the other way around with defense.
Right.
Trying to stop.
Right.
How do you stop LT from creating havoc? So no, I listen, I could see him at 1.
It was so tough for me to decide which one.
I could see him at 1.
And you know, especially when it's the outside of the field things.
Yeah.
You know, that
Listen,
I don't like that. But
yeah, but a lot of guys do it, Ron. I went defense as well, but I went Larry Robinson. Those 6 cups to me, very impressive. And that plus 722. When I saw that,
it's unbelievable.
I'm like, holy cow, man. This guy was just, they weren't scoring when he was on the ice.
He was so good. Like, you know, I would probably put him in the top 5 defensemen of all time. And, you know, or then Bork, 1 and 2. Then there's a couple of guys that you can really throw. Like, I like Nicholas Lidstrom, you know, but I think Robinson was just, he could do it all. He could do it all.
Pretty impressive. And like you said, the 6 cups to me was very important. But again, those 1, 2, 3, to me, they could go in any order.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't like sheer fight because we all kind of had him in the top. We both had him in the top 3.
Were all
yeah, it's just how we viewed it. And to your point, like LT defensively, by far one of the best. And I went Bird because of the 3 MVPs as well. So yeah, listen, great list, Larry's. What do you think for next week? You got an idea?
No, I wish I did.
Good list. Thank you, Kenny.
Yeah, Kenny, what do you think? What do you think we should do?
Kenny, you got a name for us you want to throw out there that we could possibly do for next week starting 5? Or do we bring back triple play next week? That's a good answer. All right.
Yeah, I mean, that sounds, let's
we haven't done a triple play in a while. We'll do a triple play. We'll do a triple play, get that back in there because next season we're going to be doing some funky stuff. We got a lot going on for next season. Season 4 coming up fast.
We also will have the year wrap up too coming. The memoriam.
I like that. Kenny likes a triple play back. The triple play is back, along with the NBA ranking show was back this week.
Yeah, I checked it out yesterday.
Yeah, my man, the big dog in the house.
Got to do another hockey show too.
Yeah, we got to get one going again. Slacking. NBA, my friend. Glad Kenny's still on. Let's talk some NBA. Let's bring up your guy. I knew excited. I said, how excited are you, Ron, for the finals of the play-in tournament? Give the people what they want. Thank you, Kenny. Yes, we do. Your thoughts, the Lakers in the Indiana Pacers. They're going to face off in the first NBA Cup. Your thoughts on the in-season tournament? What did you think?
It's kind of a mixed bag.
I loved it.
Like, I love the meaning of it.
Yeah.
And it did inject some
Life,
life
right?
into the league.
Early
And
on
I
here.
get that.
Right? With December, we were talking about basketball as an exciting thing. But go ahead.
I just don't think some teams still take it for real. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think early on you were right. There were some teams, once they lost, they were pretty much like whatever. I will tell you, the teams that are in the finals, by far, they weren't in it to win it. They want to win this thing.
Yeah.
Especially LeBron. Look at what LeBron did last night. They defeated the Pelicans 133-89, Ron.
Yeah.
LeBron James, 30 points. And I don't even think he played.
Oh, I thought he was going to go watch his son play.
His son's not playing yet. That's why. And if you look at what the Pacers, Tyrese Halliburton has become a superstar because of this tournament. Like, we are legitimately talking about this kid as a superstar and what he's been able to do. The Pacers, the highest scoring team in the NBA right now, Ron.
Yeah.
Right now, they got the NBA record. If they ended it today in history, is the highest scoring team. So this should be a fun game. We're gonna do the predictions later. But I love what the NBA did. I think, Adam Silver got this right.
The only problem I have
The point
with
differential.
the only problem I have with it is it's over too soon.
Yeah, it did end quickly, right? There was only, 5 games or something?
I think they should have spaced it out, for the whole season and maybe finish a little after All-Star game sometime.
Or right before it, right? And then you go to All-Star game. Now everything's
so-
playoff basketball. Makes sense. I love the fact that, the 500,000 per play. I think that kind of energized some guys as well. Yes, they're multimillionaires, and but Ray, you think about it. Who wouldn't want an extra $500,000 in their pocket playing games they're supposed to play anyway? So there was benefits there. I just don't like the point differential thing. I think they need to figure that out and change it a little bit. Maybe then it goes to the like teams you played and what that win percentage was. I don't know, but I don't like the point because I think when the Celtics to get in what they did, it just seemed like they were kind of like, okay, let's just try to blow this team out by 40. It's nice to see, but I also feel like guys are going to get hurt staying in when they didn't need to.
Yeah, and I think the incentive should be to play on a certain day. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if the players in the NBA like playing on Christmas Day, but there's always a lot of games on Christmas, right? Why not just have one, and that being the Cup final?
Yeah.
On Christmas, so you make it through the tournament, and then the teams will play on Christmas, and that is, the reward, along with, of course, the pay, and I think you have that one game on Christmas, and then it's more of a focal point. It's almost like a Super Bowl for the NBA.
Yeah.
You're
right.
I just think there's a little things that they can do,
Yeah.
either to extend it out a little or to play on that Christmas day.
No, to your point, maybe add three or four more games. So make it like a 10-game thing where, you lose early. It doesn't mean you're out of it. You know what I mean? Because I think it was like 5 games. So you lost your first game. You may not have made it out.
I don't know if it's more games. I mean, spread it out so that way it's not all bunched up together.
And I really thought you were going to go a different route here. And I just wanted to point out that even you, Ron, grumpy old Ron, who is cranky all the time, even you had some life in you because you were so upset when the Celtics lost.
Oh, my God.
Because your first thought was they can't win in the playoffs now. They're done, right? But it made you even start to think about playoff basketball in December.
Yeah.
We're talking about playoff basketball in December now.
Well, the fact that
Because
they
of this
lost to
tournament.
Orlando and Indiana is
Love
really
that.
embarrassing.
Indiana, I would say, is a good team. They're a good team. They're a young, upcoming team, and I'm telling you, Halliburton's a legitimate star. So, I think from that standpoint, you can't fault them for losing to Indiana. I mean, the Orlando one probably, but then because they would have had home court at least to face Indiana. I think that would have helped. All right, my friend, great talk. NBA, I love it. It's Major League Baseball, though, and let's talk about Craig Kimbrell decided to sign with the Baltimore Orioles. Good move for the team.
For the Orioles, yeah, why not? I mean, he's
I love that little thing.
he's a very good closer. You know, I just hope that he pitches well in the American League for some reason. It's been a little different.
He did win in Boston, though, right? So
he did okay, but he also had some problems there.
I will say this, though. I love the fact that the Orioles, and we talked about this last year when they started getting rid of players when they were in the playoff hunt, 101 games, won the AL East. They didn't just sit back now and say, you know what, at least we had a season. They're still going for it, which is great to see because a lot of these small markets, they just end up dumping all their players once they've gotten to the playoffs. So I like the move. 9-time All-Star. He obviously was a champ. He won a Rolaids, a Rivera, and a Hoffman. So, again, you think about a closer with experience in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Great move for the Orioles. Great move for the Orioles. And then
I just think, you know, the Orioles, I think they're like a player or two away from really contending. You know, I know they were solid all year, but playoff time.
Yeah, they horrible. They looked horrible, and this might help, right? Keep teams down, get a guy in there that's closed. And then I like the next move. The next guy we're going to talk about, Erod, signed with the Diamondbacks. Good move again. Here's another team that I thought would just be like, you know what? Hey, we had our run. We got to the playoffs, right? Got to the World Series.
Yeah, there was a lot of speculation he could have headed back to Boston. And, I mean, he played pretty well for Boston, just was a lot of nagging injuries, and he couldn't get by the fifth inning. And I think being in Arizona might actually be good for him. You know, the spotlight isn't going to be on him, and he's going to be able to sit back and really focus on his game. And I think, you know, that might be really good for him.
This is a great move for him. 13-9, 3.30 ERA with the Tigers last year, right? They've got Zach Gallen as a star. You know, he's an ace. They're not asking this kid to be the number one, right? So you go into a team that made it to the World Series, has a lot of young talent. You're coming in now as a veteran, as the second option, you know, in the rotation.
And he's good.
Yeah. So this to me, I love the fact that both of these teams made moves.
Yeah.
Because I'm tired of seeing those teams that every year, if I was a fan of the Orioles, I'd be like, wow, look at how great we got rid of everybody. Hey, look at how great. Oh, we got rid of everybody. And we didn't see that. These teams are legitimately saying, look, we're going to sign some good players
right,
to try to help us continue to get back to the playoffs. I love it. This is the best thing for baseball.
Nice to see.
The best thing for baseball. Best thing for baseball. Ron, what a great show already. But you know what? We're coming to our favorite segment, and it is split decision time. Split decisions where we give each other both a more likely scenario, and we have to pick them. You are first this week, Ron. So give us your first split decision.
All right. I got a pretty good one here. We know how great of a fan you are of the NHL.
Love the NHL. Love it. I do.
All right. So Quinn Hughes.
Fourth favorite.
Quinn Hughes, defenseman for Vancouver, and Cale Makar, defenseman for Colorado.
Yep.
They both lead the league for assists by a defenseman.
Okay.
27 right now.
Okay.
Who is more likely to be the assist leader for defensemen at the end of the season?
So Makar and who?
Quinn Hughes,
Hughes plays for who?
Vancouver.
Vancouver's doing pretty well too, but right now the way Vancouver's playing, I'd go Vancouver. So I'm going
Hughes.
Hughes. Just based off of that, I like the way Vancouver's playing. I think they're gonna be there. But good one, very good one. I went double basketball on mine. Ron, what is more likely? The Indiana Pacers finish the season averaging the most points per game in an NBA season. Right now they're at 128.4. The record 1981-82 Denver Nuggets 126.5. So they're about 2 points ahead of pace there. Or Nikolai Jokic finishes the season averaging a triple-double. Right now he's at 28.6, 12.9 rebounds, 9.8 assists.
More likely Joker gets the triple-double.
Really?
Yeah.
You don't think they can do the scoring thing, huh?
No, I don't think so. I think they're
going to have a stretch?
I think they're going to have a stretch. Every team has a stretch.
Okay. All right.
And I think them breaking the record is a stretch.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Even though they're on pacer for it.
All right, Ron, you're number 2.
But I just don't think they're that good.
Okay.
You know, I think they're right now flying high because of some luck.
Okay.
A little bit of luck in there.
Okay.
You know, I just don't think they're as good as what everybody's saying.
Okay. All right. I think they'll be there at the end. But
too
go
bad,
ahead.
Indiana.
Yep. What do you got at number 2?
My second one. This is the one right here. This is the split decision of all decisions. This
all right,
granddaddy right here.
The granddaddy of split decisions. I can't wait.
We've had our normal split decisions, and then we'd have a three for once in a while, right?
Reefer.
Well, who will more likely be able to repeat as MVP?
Okay.
Connor McDavid, Joel Embiid, Ronald Acuna Jr., Shohei Ohtani, or Patrick Mahomes. Those are all the current MVPs for the 4 sports.
I don't think Embiid gets it again because there was a lot of debate when he got it last year. So I'm throwing Embiid out. So that leaves me with
McDavid, Acuna, Ohtani, and Mahomes.
I'm going Acuna Jr. As crazy as it sounds, I think that kid's just on a pace right now. He's the best player in baseball. And I think he could do what he did this year, next year again. 40 home runs, 70 steals. I don't see that being an issue. So I would go Acuna Jr. I don't know whatever's going. Please don't say. But I think Acuna Jr. I can't go. I don't think I would go. I don't honestly know what McDavid's numbers are right now, but I will say this: Edmonton's not a top team.
He's been injured. He's been injured.
Yeah, and they're not a top team, so I don't think he's having that kind of season. Ohtani with the move, I don't know what's going to happen. And I will say this: Mahomes, because of the offensive weapons that he has now, they're not making the plays for him to be an MVP, if that makes sense. He's still going to put up numbers.
Oh, I absolutely agree with what you said, your answer.
I think Acuna Jr. by far. But
yeah, because Ohtani's not going to pitch next year, so he's not going to win it.
The M word. Yeah, the M word. All right, Ron, I got a 3 for you also. Ron, which team is more likely to break the record for fewest wins in a season, which is right now 9-73, which was set by the 72-73 76ers. Try to say that fast 5 times. So 9 wins overall. Okay. The Detroit Pistons, who are currently 2-19, the Washington Wizards, who are 3-17, or the San Antonio Spurs, who are 3-17. Which of those 3 teams is more likely to be able to beat the record and lose more games, I guess, would be or win less games. 9 is the cusp.
Well, I gotta say it's oh man. The sad part is I think Detroit might actually have a little more talent than Washington, but for some reason, I gotta say it's Detroit. I gotta say it's Detroit because I think they're almost trying to lose.
They may be 2-19. I think they had winless November or just they didn't win a single game in November.
Yeah,
They
I
lost
just
every
think
game
that
in
they're
November.
trying to lose.
Yeah, so it's a good one.
Kind of disgusting, but
9-73. That's pretty bad. Ugh, man.
yeah.
2-19 right now, though, the Pistons. So I could see it too. Good one. Good one. I love this segment, man. It makes you think. I can't just go into this thing blindly anymore. It's not more likely who's better, Tom Brady or Peyton Manning, right? It's like we really starting to think about scoring records, and it's kind of crazy.
Anything is on
MVPs.
the table.
I love it. I love it.
I had like 3 or 4 things that I wanted to do today, but
I love it. I love it. Ron, let's talk some NHL. Klingberg out, done for the season for the Maple Leafs. What's their options now, right? Defensively, they picked him up to hopefully stabilize them defensively. I mean, he's only had he's a -7 for the season, which is done.
there's a lot of talk that he's not really got a season-ending injury. He's been playing that bad. That's the problem. The numbers don't even tell you how bad he's been playing. So I don't think he's going to be playing another game for the Toronto Maple Leafs.
It was a 1-year deal, right? At $4 million. So,
yeah,
he wouldn't be back well, I mean, he could be back, but he's not under contract. But we talk about Toronto, and the one thing that's been their deficiency for a couple of years now is defense. And we thought, like, hey, this was a good pickup. Yeah. And we thought this was going to be a good pickup for them. Didn't seem to work out. Do they have an option now, Ron? Should they be looking? Do you think they make a trade to get another defenseman? Or is this something where they go with what they have and see what happens?
They need to go after somebody else, but they're going to have to give up some offense because, I mean, you only have so many pieces. And frankly, they worry about this offensive thing so much that it's costing them. And they're wasting away a lot of talent on that team. Jonathan Tavares, Austin Matthews, Marner, Nylander. These guys are good. And they're wasting it. They're wasting it.
We'll have to see how this all turns out. We'll keep an eye out on the Toronto Maple Leafs. And, hockey alive and well. Sports Unfolded.
This is why we keep talking about, these certain teams. And Toronto and Edmonton are like a carbon copy of each other. They got all that firepower, but what good is it if you can't keep it out of the net?
You need to stop people. You need to play some defense.
Yeah.
Keys to winning. Ron, NHL rankings every Monday night come out as well. So if you are a fan of the NHL, you will get our rankings every Monday for NBA and the NHL, NFL on Tuesdays, Major League Baseball when it's back. We get our top 5. Those come out every Tuesday as well. So really looking forward to seeing where this season goes. Boston's still hot. The Rangers, though, number 1 team, 4 weeks running.
I told everybody.
All coming together.
And you always get these knuckleheads that post a comment, what about Tampa Bay or what about Toronto? And okay, you do realize that overtime losses are still losses, right? If you have 10 wins and you have 11 losses, should you be in the top 10? No. Idiots.
Hey, 3 Christmas cards by all the people that you just offended. All right, Ron, it is pick and roll time.
Be real.
It's time for Pick and Roll.
Pick and roll time tonight is about the number 49. All these pitchers wore the number 49 at least at some point in their major league careers. Chris Sale, Tim Wakefield, Ron Guidry, Hoyt Wilhelm, Lee Smith, and Jake Arrieta. We're going to rank them from 6 to 1. Ron, you are first. Start us off.
Okay. This was a very interesting list.
I agree. I thought I was going to go a different direction, and I ended up not.
No, I knew the direction where I was going to go with this one. I have two of these guys are some of my favorite players to ever play. And that includes number 6, Tim Wakefield. I just love
Chris Sale.
No,
I know
Tim
he's one of your favorites.
Wakefield. I mean, look, I don't like the numbers. 200 and 180. Yeah, he was a winning pitcher. Okay, that's like an 18-year career. 4.41 ERA is way too high, but it is a knuckleball, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, sometimes he's great, sometimes it's not, and it could go just like that, right?
Sometimes good, sometimes not so good.
You know, he did win 2 World Series, though.
Yeah.
And he also blew one.
No, I'll talk about that. Come on.
But as a player, and rest in peace, Tim, loved him as a player, loved his fire and desire to get a team motivated. There was a lot of greatness in him. So he was number 6. Number 5, Jake Arrieta. Again, 22 games over 500. You know, 3.98, 1,400 Ks, 1 All-Star, 1 World Series, 1 Cy Young. That was a magical year for him. Just wasn't enough, right? Wasn't enough. Number 4, I put Lee Smith. Great closer, right? Except for when he came to Boston. But 3.03 ERA. I mean, 478 saves. I believe at one point he was the saves leader.
He was, yes.
So 7 All-Stars, 3 Rolaids relief titles under his belt, which is now Hoffman Rivera in respected leagues. But yeah, he was a great closer. He was definitely one for the books, one of the tops ever. So he was number 4. Number 3, I put Chris Sale. I mean, I don't like him the last 3-4 seasons. When he came to Boston, that ruined his career, basically. You know, I mean, it's been a nightmare since then. 120 wins, 80 losses, so 40 games over 500 is pretty good. 3.10 as a starter is pretty good, especially at this day and age.
Mm-hmm.
He even had 12 saves to go along with that.
Yep.
2,100 plus Ks in just 1,780 innings pitched, which is phenomenal. 7 All-Stars, 1 World Series. If injuries didn't happen, got to stay off that bike.
Yeah. Yes, you do.
Number 2, Hoyt Wilhelm. I don't like that he's only 21 games over 500, but that ERA is
very impressive.
Magical. 2.52. Obviously didn't get run support for his wins. He also had 228 saves, so he was doing both.
Yep.
2,200 innings, had 1,600 strikeouts, 8 All-Stars, 1 World Series, 2 ERA titles. So that tells you he was doing both. You know, starting and closing, he could do it all. The guy was awesome. But number 1, And I don't have too many guys that I really like that played in New York, but Ron Guidry was one of my favorite pitchers of all time. One of my favorites, and 170 wins, 91 losses, 3.29 ERA, right in that sweet spot, right?
Yeah.
1,700 plus strikeouts, 4 All-Stars, 2 World Series, 5 Gold Gloves,
Mm.
2 ERA titles, and a Cy Young. This guy could do it all. He was one to watch. I loved him.
No.
Loved him as a player.
No, great job. Listen, I was very close. So again, I at 6 I had Wake, and to your point, all the numbers. The ERA was just a little bit more than I would have liked to see. But you're right, Nickleball it was either hit or miss. You saw both.
But he could go out there every day if you needed him.
Yeah,
And did.
Yeah, at 5, Jake Arrieta. I agree with you, just not enough. And again, even with that Cy Young, the championship, 1 Silver Slugger, by the way, pretty good for right. Here's the only difference I had. I had Sale at 4.
Yeah.
And then I had Lee Smith at 3.
And I contemplated that.
And it was because the 3 Rolades, because that meant you were the best.
Yeah.
At what you did. And if Sale had a Cy Young or something where I said, hey, look, you were the best.
No, you're
pitcher.
right. And looking at that, that's probably what I should have done.
And then Hoyt Wilhelm,
right
like you said, Hoyt Wilhelm, that ERA, I was like, wow. And then you throw 228 saves on top of it. I'm like, all right, this guy, he was a workhorse. 2 ERAs. It's like, all right, perfect. But Guidry just has so much in it. And then you know how we are. Me and you are both the same when it comes to the Gold Gloves sometimes. 5 for a pitch is pretty good. I think Greg Maddux is one of the best ever.
Greg Maddux.
Right? But 2 ERAs, 1-time Major League Baseball Player of the Year, plus the Cy Young and the 2 championships. And then that winning percentage, right? 170 at 91. So phenomenal.
That's awesome.
This was fun. These were some great pitches. And regardless, even Wake at 6 is like, you know what? If I had to start a team and I needed a 5-man rotation, I would put Wake. Wake would have been one of those guys.
Absolutely. It does a lot for the staff too, because every team goes through those stretches, right, where you just can't win games and you're going through arms, and then he can go in there and he can take one for the team, and he has done it in the past. Whereas knuckleball is just not working, but you need innings out of him, and he'll stay in there and hang in there. And I don't know how many times he's had a rough first couple of innings and then nothing after that. Yeah. And he can go 7-8 innings like it's nothing.
No,
so
good.
I mean, he chewed up innings.
It was good.
And
good list.
He had 3,226 innings pitched. So he pitched a lot. He was somebody that you had in your rotation every single time.
Yeah, no, great list. All right, my friend, it is prediction time.
Wow, already?
And first for Sports Unfolded, all 4 of us were 4-4. They never saw that. So nobody gained any traction or ground last week. We were all 500. Again, if you are joining us live right now, just pick your games. We'll throw you on our prediction chart. We only got 3 weeks left.
I know.
3 weeks left. Who was the knuckleballer for the Red Sox?
That was Tim Wakefield.
Kenny.
Tim Wakefield.
We were just talking about him.
A lot. Actually, this was we had a nice conversation about Tim Wakefield.
I don't. Kenny must have fell asleep there. No, 1 too many shots of the Hennessy there, buddy. Yes, it was. All right, it is prediction time, and we are starting off in the NBA with that big game, the NBA Cup on the 9th tomorrow night. The Indiana Pacers.
What is Detroit playing Washington?
Yes. So to try to help
game to get out of
even if they play each other, I don't think they could get the 9. That it is. They might. They don't have enough.
That's right. You should have checked to see how many times they play.
Indiana Pacers versus the Los Angeles Lakers for the championship. Ron, who do you got? Kenny's got the Pacers.
I'm going to go the Lakers.
I also went the Lakers. LeBron wants this. And I think it's because he's going to want to be called the King Cup or the James Cup or whatever. He wants a name. He wants a cup. He's determined to win this. Kenny, I agree. The pace is very good, but I think LeBron wants it more. All right, 12-14, Ron. You got the Minnesota Timberwolves.
You know, getting back to that, not to cut you off there, Eric, but it's one game, right? It's one game.
He can win one game.
I take LeBron in one game.
Yeah, no, agreed. Minnesota Timberwolves at the Dallas Mavericks on December 14th. Mavs playing well, but I don't know. Minnesota just looks like they have figured it out, and I like Minnesota in this matchup, even on the road.
I like Minnesota. The problem is they can't score. And can they stop Dallas? I'm not so sure they can stop Dallas. I think between Luka and that other guy that they have back there in their backcourt, I think that's enough offense that they can rise to the occasion.
All
so
right.
I'm going Dallas at home.
All right. Kenny went Mavs as well. All right. 12-9, Ron. You got the Vegas Golden Knights at the Dallas Stars. Two top West teams here.
Yeah, I'm going to go Dallas. I just think, it's close. I think the two teams are very good, well coached. But I think Dallas being at home is the advantage that they need for that one. And I'm going to go Dallas.
Kenny
I went Dallas.
I see this. Will it be a trifecta? I went Knights. Here. I think they still want to be the cream of the crop when it comes to the Western Conference. I think they're going to have something to prove. They're not going to give the Stars any momentum. I went Golden Knights here. 12-10, Ron. Los Angeles Kings at the New York Rangers. This is a good game. Kings right now going for the record, 12 straight road wins. Yeah. So this is a good game. This is a very good matchup.
Yeah, and they're going to fail miserably. New York Rangers are very aware of that record, and they are not letting it happen to them.
Wow, 3 straight difference. I went Kings here, and I think they're going for the record, man. They're gonna have everybody all eyes on them.
By the way,
I think it's 12 straight road wins.
Yeah, but who has it?
It wasn't Boston. I read it, and I'm trying to think. I lost it. I read it too. I forgot who has it.
Yeah, I don't know.
Kenny went Rangers. It was a surprise team too. It wasn't because I was thinking all Boston last year, but no, it wasn't Boston.
Yeah.
12-10, Ron. NFL action. You got the Buffalo Bills at the Kansas City Chiefs.
Oh, this is a tough one because I don't like either team at this moment. But I'm gonna go with Kansas City.
I went Kansas City at home. I think they can do enough to win. Yeah, McKenny's going Buffalo.
They'll have
Kenny don't like the M word.
So
first loss though with Swift in the booth last week.
Mm-hmm.
12-10, Ron. Big game. Philadelphia Eagles at the Dallas Cowboys.
Maybe they kicked her out now.
Maybe they will. I went Philly here. I think Philly, off a bad loss, is going to be motivated to win this game. I went Philly.
Yeah, I also went Philly. I think they're going to be extra motivated. Coming off that embarrassing loss to San Francisco, they need to get back to work, and they do not need Dallas to win this game and even things up.
Yeah. So, and again, until I see Dallas win a big game,
no,
I don't believe in them. I just don't. I was hoping Kenny going Dallas.
This is why James isn't here today.
Yeah, he didn't want to have to.
He knew it's coming. He knew
chickened out, James. 12-10, another good game. Indianapolis Colts at the Cincinnati Bengals. Ron, what do you got?
Yeah, I got the Indianapolis Colts. I think last week was just rising to the occasion, with all the hype going on and everybody counting out the Bengals. I think everybody rose to the occasion, but now I think they looking back and now reality hits in. And I think Indianapolis is going to have a big game.
I went Bengals. I like this kid Browning. I like what he did. Accuracy is important. 32 of 37. And you got the best wide receivers in the game. So Kenny always goes the Bengals. Walk like an Egyptian. So Kenny went Bengals.
Yup.
And big game in college football, my friend. Army versus Navy. It's in Foxborough. The Army Black Knights at the Navy Midshipmen. That is tomorrow.
Oh, so we're going to actually see some good football at Foxborough this year.
I don't think so. They're both 5-6.
Yeah, I know they're both
I
terrible.
was like, wait a minute. This was a tough one because I didn't know which way to go.
But it's still more wins than the Patriots.
And they average more offensive points than the Patriots. So, yes. I went Army here. I went Army. They're averaging 20 points per game, a little more than the Navy. So, I went Army.
Yeah. I'm going to go Navy just to go Oppo.
Kenny, who do you got?
I need to win.
Army at Navy. Tomorrow night, Foxborough. I don't even know if it's at night. It's in the afternoon. Kenny don't want to pick an Army-Navy game, I guess. There he is. Kenny going Army. That means loss for me. Great. All right. All right, Ron. It is final thoughts time. But before we get into our final thoughts, can you tell all the wonderful people out there if they'd love to sponsor this amazing sports podcast, the best sport podcast in the world, on the planet, in the universe, whatever you want to call it, how can they do that?
Oh, Eric, it's very simple. All you have to do is send us an email to that right down there, ribroadcasting.media@gmail.com. We can send you out all the information. But again, like I always tell you, it's very simple, and it only costs like going to your local coffee shop, buying a large coffee, and an eclair. An eclair.
I see Claire.
It's very inexpensive. You
I
should
love
do
it.
it. Do it.
I
And
love
then
it.
we could read out your ad, show the ad so people can see it visually and hear it audibly.
Thousands upon thousands of eyes on your business.
Hey,
Worldwide.
150,000 views.
Worldwide. Global. We're not just local, baby. Even though if you are in Southeast Connecticut, SET TV, every Tuesday night, 10 p.m., check us out. If you're liking it and you're watching it, watch us every Friday night at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. A million different ways to watch and follow us. Support our website. Support our Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, right? Subscribe. Make sure you're a part of that because you don't want to A, miss a show. B, going on season 4 in just a few weeks. I cannot wait. But not only that, the fact that you can interact with these two lugheads every single week. How great is it? My man Kenny, every week, one of our best fans. James, sorry we missed you tonight. But you guys joining in every week and chiming in. We love it. Can't wait to do it every single year. Next season, season 4, guys. How exciting is that? Ron, it is final thoughts time. You are first this week. Your final thought.
Yeah, I was thinking about what to do, and I know it's coming to the end of the season, right? It's the end of not the end of the season, the end of the year. And we always do our, in memoriam every year, and it is really difficult to get through it. And I'm sure it is going to be just as difficult this year. So, but what I want people to do is I want people to start getting a list together of the people that they lost. And I want them to be able to interact with us during that show and post who they lost. So that way we can announce that as well. And because I wanted to do this as my final thought, I do want to finally, put out there my rest in peace for my mom who passed away only a couple of months ago. So, and that's what made me think of this. So, so please do that. So, like Kenny, James, Chakra, everybody else that normally watches the show, if you lost somebody, I want you to post it during that show.
Yeah, let us know. That'll be episode 52.
That'll be 52.
So we are three weeks away from that. Well said, Ron. Well said. And again, it's one giant family. We're all here for each other. So
that's right.
Again, amazing. All right, my final thought is actually we always talk about players, with bonehead moves or saying the wrong thing. Well, in 2019, Sean McDermott actually made some comments to his team to try to inspire them or teach them about something. And it was, he has since apologized because it was about 9/11. And he was basically talking about how on 9/11, what people had to go through to get there's certain things that you can relate to sports in many different things, right? You work and you say, hey, teamwork and how things work. I'm really not sure what Sean McDermott was thinking when he thought that you can compare 9/11 and that tragedy to the battles on the football field. And I think sometimes we hear too much about people making these. Oh my God, Kenny, I am so sorry. Wow. Kenny, our condolences. Kenny lost his mother this week.
Oh,
I am
so sorry, Kenny.
But Sean McDermott, what a bonehead move. You're a head coach, a leader of a team, and you would just think that you would be smarter than that than to compare something like that to anything. Think about what you say to your team before you try to motivate them. That sometimes isn't the way to go. There's been a lot of tragedies in this world, and I could never once sit back and, I manage people every day in my work and be like, hey, you know what? I think 9/11, if you really look at it, like that would never come out of my mouth. So think about what you did, Sean McDermott. How can you be better from it? I'm glad you apologized, but again, bonehead move. And I was a little bothered by it. All right, my friend, that is our show for tonight. Ending on a sad note, I do apologize again. Just a very big surprise, Kenny. I do our condolences with you. Ron, obviously, thank you for sharing as well. We will see you next Friday night, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, episode 50. Cannot wait. We'll probably get an Ohtani signing by then, so we'll probably be talking a little bit about Shohei Ohtani. Expected to be signed.
We never do that.
Yeah, never. This weekend looks like is when he'll make a decision. Ron, I will see you next Friday night. I want to thank you. If you are joining us live, thank you tonight. If you are joining us afterwards, just continue to follow our show, share it, make sure that everybody sees it. Look forward to that. And Ron, I'll see you next Friday. I can't wait, my friend. And all we have to do is ask for every single show is peace on earth.
Have a great night, everybody.